So yeah, I told you that story where I was at the comic book store just trying to buy some comics, and I got roped into a conversation with the comic book store owner and two other customers about the Infinity Stones, and I didn't want to get involved because I'm like, I don't want to get involved, but you guys are all wrong. Because with the
You're
Marvel,
just trying to buy your books, and you're
yeah,
like,
just like trying to buy my books.
What are you talking about?
I was like, you nerds, you're wrong. Because the rise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the puttering along of the DC Cinematic Universe, we get a lot of these people that are interested in comic books but don't want to read comic books. So you get a lot of people who Wikipedia a lot of shit, but then or they listen to like other people's speculation about it, but not have an understanding on what things actually are. So they were going on this huge tangent about how there's two Infinity Gauntlets, and Thanos has got one, and Odin has the other. And I'm like, guys, those are just gloves, man. Like, you guys are putting too much investment into things that aren't right. Like, because in the comic books, the Infinity Stones, the stones themselves, are the things that are powerful. It's not the glove. That's just what Thanos puts them on. He's just like, I got a glove. I have two gloves. Thanos always had gloves.
Well,
so he just put them on his glove.
It's pretty obvious. Didn't the director say too, though, that he just put the glove in there for the fans?
Yeah,
he doesn't actually have it. It was just a little.
Yeah, it was just like a little
thing in the background.
Yeah,
for the fans.
it was a little like because they didn't really know they were gonna get to Thanos.
Right.
It wasn't until when they're working on the Avengers, like, hey, we'll throw Thanos in here. That'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of a nerd thing.
Yeah.
It's not actually part of.
And that's why the Eye of Agamotto's in the Odin's treasure room also.
Yeah, it's not.
There's
really,
just nerd stuff.
Yeah, it's just a whatever.
But that's what happens. That's this
Wikipedia.
The Wikipedia nerd geeks are funny to me because just go and read the comic, man. Like there's all this speculation.
I just picture you, David, walking up the counter with your books, and you slam your books down, and you're just like, no, the gauntlet is two gloves. Yeah. It's a glove. That's why he's jumping.
He just has two gloves, guys. When you buy a glove. You buy two gloves. You have two hands.
Right.
Let me buy ROM. That's why I was buying a stack of ROM comics.
Right.
And then the comic store is like, really, ROM? And I'm like, dude. I was like, what this? Yeah.
You thought
Sell me my comics. Right. Stop trying to educate these guys over here. But welcome to Recovering Sidekicks, our weekly comic review podcast where we talk about single issues, graphic novels, and on occasion we talk about what, John?
I don't know.
It's trade paperbacks.
Trade paperbacks, yeah.
Trade
paperbacks. That was going to come out of my mouth next. I was like,
trade paperbacks.
That's what I meant.
We've been doing this a year, I think. Almost a year. Trade paperbacks. It is April.
You know why? Because I don't have that nerd lingo down. You know what I call them? I call them, I got a volume, or I got a collection here. Yeah. I got a collection of books.
A volume? What a nerd.
I don't call them trade bags. I'm like, I got a volume here.
Trade paperbacks, sir. Yeah. But it is April. We are in April, which is the 4th month of the year.
Yes, it is the 4th month.
So I figured it would make sense for us to just talk about the Fantastic Four this month. Who are the Fantastic Four? Geez, I don't know, because they're not part of Marvel anymore, huh? Just buried those characters.
They don't have any movies.
The four.
But I see what you did. The 4th one, Fantastic Four. I like it, sir.
Yep.
I like it.
And we get
because I, sir, like the Fantastic Four.
You're one of those guys.
I'm one of those guys.
It's pretty funny to me is you could tell if someone's like a hardcore comic book fan whether or not they like the Fantastic Four or not.
Yeah.
Same thing with Superman. If you are a true comic book nerd, if you're like Superman's actually a good character, or the Fantastic Four has a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
If you're a person who's like both those characters suck. I love Wolverine and the Punisher. Then you're like and Deadpool. And you're like, oh, you're not a real nerd.
Not a real fan.
You're not a real nerd. You don't like good things probably.
No, you're a hipster. You're like, it's cool. The cool thing right now is like that.
So what is appealing about the Fantastic Four to you? I find this interesting.
You know what? I've read Fantastic Four since I was a kid. I've always collected them. I'm not like one of those diehard fans where like I have to buy this. I've got like every issue and something. I just like I'll go even today. I'll go to the convention stuff and I'll look for back issues. I enjoy the old. I don't like the newer stuff. And nothing against the newer stuff.
Well, to be fair, the newer stuff there is no Fantastic Four.
Well, the more recent stuff they had a son and a daughter now. You know, and I'm like,
yeah.
Now it's become too much of a family. Like, not that I'm against that because the Fantastic Four has always been a family, but now it's too much of a, oh, I'm a mom and dad, and we just happen to go on adventures. It's too much, and the kids are involved every time now.
Yeah, it's that constant idea of our kids are really, really powerful.
Yeah,
and they're always being kidnapped now, and
yeah.
it's kind of getting redundant.
It's kind of my fear of like The Incredibles 2. When that movie comes out, it's like, okay, now we got a sequel coming out, and the kids are used to their powers now, so now the kids are gonna be involved.
And Jack is God.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't really want to watch the kids, really, I really don't. But anyway, but with Fantastic Four, you know what I really liked about it is, kind of like the original, not the very original, but the Jessica Alba movie, Fantastic Four. A lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was too goofy. It's kind of what I like. If you're a real like you said, a real hardcore fan of the Fantastic Four comic, if you're a real fan, you'll know that's how the Fantastic Four was.
They bicker, they argue.
Yeah, they're like a real family, and it's a fun. You know what?
It's a lighthearted adventure.
There you go, very light. It's a very fun comic. That's why I like the Fantastic Four. It's very fun. Now, I will admit, you know what I hate? I kind of hate the little pocket dimension shit they go into all the time. And that's a big deal. Because they have other superheroes go out in outer space, so the Fantastic Four always goes into the negative zone and stuff. And, sometimes it gets kind of boring to me. Yeah, it's like, whatever. But
it's a good thing none of the movies focus entirely on them going on into another dimension. Oh wait, that was the last Fantastic Four. That was the whole movie.
I know what you're talking about, sir, because there was no other movie. I know what you're talking about.
There's only the Roger Corman one in the late or early.
But I just like the fact I like the Fantastic Four because they were I don't want to say like they're reluctant superheroes, but they're more like adventurers.
Yeah,
is what they are. They're like adventurers, and there's this misconception too that the Thing is a big dummy. But if you read the comics, he's actually really smart too. He just happens to be a weightlifting guy, and he's kind of strong.
He was a World War II veteran, right?
Yeah,
like an ace pilot or something.
Yeah, and he was the pilot to the ship, and so he's actually a pretty intelligent guy. So, but I like it too. There's so many things I like about Fantastic Four. I love the characters. They've got some great villains. There are some really lame villains too, but they got.
I like Immortus.
Yeah, they. Yeah.
No, they're not all winners.
Which is also Kang, isn't he? I think he's.
Is he? Yeah.
I think
you're right.
He's another version of Kang.
Yeah.
But they've got some pretty cool villains. We'll get in maybe I'll bring up some of those. But one of my favorite villains they fought a lot of time was the Super Skrull.
The visuals of Super Skrull's awesome, I think.
Yeah, but there was two different Super Skrulls. There was one Super Skrull from the 60s or whatever.
Yeah,
and then they had a more updated one called I can't think of his name. It started with a P. Something the Power Skrull.
Pepe. The other Super Skrull was more of like a muscle guy.
Yeah, this guy's actually really smart. He's like his devious plan. I mean, then he teams up with Divos the Devastator, which was a great villain. Divos the Devastator was a guy who was kind of like Iron Man if he was 10 times crazier and more dangerous, basically.
So it's just Iron Man.
Basically, yeah. But his whole Divos the Devastator was his war. Everybody on his planet was killed by war. These aliens who invaded and war. So he plagues to kill everybody that can create a war. So hey, Fantastic Four's got these powers. I'm gonna kill you guys too. So I mean, they've always had such cool villains. I mean,
and they have probably the best comic book villain of all time.
Doctor Doom came from them. Yep, and Doctor Doom is the best. He really is. He's a normal guy who knows. A lot of people forget Doctor Doom knows sorcery. Like, he can challenge Doctor Strange. He's that good into sorcery. Yeah. He loses because Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme, and he's got Dai Agamotto and Harry Hordes of Hogoth, and but
Doctor Doom doesn't say any of that silly shit.
No,
he's just like, I ain't saying that.
Zap, you're dead, bro.
I will zap you with my pistol, and that's it.
But besides that, he's basically Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Reed Richards all combined in one guy. I mean, it's
and the
cool.
Phantom of the Opera.
And the Phantom of the Opera, right. So, I've always liked the Fantastic Four. They've always got cool little twists and turns.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you said. It is like the Avengers. Members have always kind of dropped in and out, and somebody takes your spot for a while. So I've always loved it. Like I said, I stopped reading the newer stuff. I just couldn't get into it because they got too drama, and the way Marvel is, they get.
Especially after the Reborn stuff, when they brought everyone back after Onslaught. It really
I couldn't get into it. Yeah, I actually right up until I think Onslaught is when I pretty much quit reading. Once Onslaught started, and they all went into the dimension to stop Onslaught, and they all disappeared forever. That was pretty much it. I was done because when they brought them back, I was like, I don't know. But I love the Fantastic Four. I think they're great comics. They're fun to read. Pick up any older issues, and they're fun to read. They're really there. Speaking of older issues, David.
Yes.
Hey, since we're talking about older issues, how about I talk about this issue here, sir?
What are you holding?
I am holding a Fantastic Four because I am old school McGee, right?
Yeah. I like how you put it old school McGee, because we were calling you old man McGee.
Oh, old man. Well, I'm trying to be a hipster.
Yeah, you're not trying to be cool.
What's up? I'm an old man.
School McGee.
I'm old school. Yeah. I'm holding a Fantastic Four issue number 186 from the year 1977, sir.
Whoa.
Disco. That's actually a lot further away than you realize. You really think, you're like, wow.
That's really old. You're holding something really old.
Yeah, you really. Yeah. The cover is kind of a cool cover. The Fantastic Four, they enter. It's the first time you get to see Salem 7.
Oh, this is the first appearance of Salem 7.
I believe it's his first appearance in 7. So I could be incorrect on that, but I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, send me an email. I'm willing to.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. You are incorrect.
Yeah. They clearly appeared in Fantastic Four issue 122.
Right. No, this is the first time This is the first time the Fantastic Four met him, so it's the first appearance.
Which is weird. This is also the first appearance of the Fantastic Four in their own book, issue 181. It took a really long time for them to show up in their own comic series.
But this is actually in this one's called Enter Salem 7. This is actually, like I said, it was done in 1977. This is actually the conclusion to a story that's been I think it's 3 issues before this.
Oh, it's like a little story arc.
Right, a little story arc. And this is the conclusion. But it's a pretty good story. It's if hardcore Fantastic Four fans will remember Agatha Harker. She's wait, let me make sure. I believe it's Agatha Harker, right? Agatha. Yeah, I think it's Agatha Harker. Whatever. Anyway, it's Agatha. I think it's Harker, but I'm pretty sure. But anyway, she's an older lady, and if you're a hardcore fan, you'll know that not only is she a sorceress who has had interaction with the Scarlet Witch, she's had interaction with Sue Storm. My point is, she's been around for a little bit, and she used to babysit Franklin Richards a lot. She shows up and is like the nanny for.
Where is that?
What's that?
How does she get that job? I'd just like to see that interview where Reed Richards is like, tell me what you do. I am Agatha Harker. I am master of the mystical. I'm a scientist.
Right. I don't believe in science. What do you do? I am the sorceress supreme.
I know so much black magic. This is a job for taking care of my son. My 5-year-old son.
Right. Who has the power to destroy a sun or whatever.
Yeah, I know, right? He's so powerful. He can kill suns with his brain.
What can you do for me? So, but this is a nice conclusion.
I know how to make mac and cheese. All right, you're hired.
You're hired, right? I can make a invisible cage around him with my magic, so your kid can't go nobody.
When he gets time out, I can really punish him. That's right.
But it's the conclusion for like a 3-part story. Now the thing is that you would think, hey, yeah, but don't I need to read the other 3 issues? Oh, sir! Back in the day, in 1977, they actually talk about what happened in the last 2 issues, so they catch you up.
Yeah.
They literally, and they don't just do a little box that says, last issue, this is what happened. No, they actually say, oh, remember, and it says a little square. Last issue, it says, oh, remember when we fought so-and-so?
I love that, because it makes it sound like everybody talks like they're stupid.
Right.
It's like in a giant explosion happens, they're all like, oh man, I can't believe we all got hit by that crazy beam. And do you remember that, Ben? Yeah, I was just there, Reed.
Let me just give you an example of that. Let me just tell you. So Reed, everybody's waking up in the cage, right? They're all in a prison cage, and they wake up. And basically Reed's like, then that helps to explain the Inhuman Eliminator your captors left behind to destroy Whisper Hill, and any evidence of your ever having lived there. And then Ben's all, yeah, including us. And they continue to go, and we trace the Eliminator's point of origin back here to New Salem, where we soon found ourselves battling an army of monstrous gargoyles and it's like, oh, they catch you all up, man. Like, all right, you ready to go? All right, let's go on now.
I want Agatha to go like, why are you telling me all this? We just want to know, we just want you to know, because it was real hard. We put a lot of work into this.
Right. So, basically they wake up, and what it is that it's kind of interesting, not that she's an important character, but Agatha, it's kind of an origin story about Agatha, too. You find out was part of this place called New Salem, where they all practice magic and sorcery and stuff. And because
Old Salem ended so well for sorcerers.
What's funny is that's what they mention here. They say, because Old Salem, they killed us for doing magic, so they created New Salem in this underground place. and they vowed never to interact with the outside world again.
Huh.
But Agatha left, which broke the rules.
Oh, you bitch!
Right, so they track her down to kill her, and the Fantastic Four come to rescue her, and that takes you through the other issues. But now you've got the conclusion where they've all been captured, and it's a pretty interesting little comic.
Pretty crazy to see Fantastic Four fighting magic.
Right, and it's kind of neat because when they run into the Salem Seven, they look like normal people, but then when they click their magic on, they're like, oh, we've been I don't know what the word you want to use for magic, though. I don't want to say genetically altered, but we've been magically altered.
Transmogrified, right?
Yeah, or something, I guess.
Word?
Yeah, I don't know what the word is. I don't know. But they've been
magicked.
Yes, they've been designed to fight the Fantastic Four. And the characters are kind of dumb. I mean, think about it. There's a character called Vacuum. I mean,
Really?
Yeah, the guy's name is actual Vacuum, and it's VAKUUM.
Oh.
It's Vacuum.
I suck him up real good.
Right. There's a guy who looks like a lion guy with horns called Bruticus.
Yeah.
I mean, these aren't like great names. There's a chick that literally turns into like a serpent, and she's got like serpent arms too. And
what's up with snakes and chicks and snakes in Marvel? Like,
I
there's
don't know.
what was it the girl that has the giant anaconda that's in the Circus of Crime?
Yeah.
There's always a chick with a snake.
Yeah.
It's strange.
You've got another character named he looks like he should be part of the Mermen. He's got an arm that shoots water, and he's called. Ready for this? He's called Hydron. So it's not like original names. These guys obviously are practicing magic. What do I call myself? I don't know. Hydron. I don't know. But it's pretty cool because they've all got powers, and they put it this way: Fantastic Four, they've always had fun fight scenes. A lot of times when they fight their villains, it's always real quick, like a couple of punches and they're out. This fight scene literally takes, I'm going to go through back right now, it literally takes 1, 2, 3, skip the ads, 4, it's like 5 pages of a fight scene, which is actually pretty long for a comic.
Yeah, especially an older comic.
Right, it's a 5-page fight scene they take on these guys. And it's such a goofy team, but it's kind of neat because it works, and they give the Fantastic Four a really good run for their money, and they kind of smack the Fantastic Four around a little bit. In fact, when they... it's a Fantastic Four comic, so I'm not going to spoil it for you, but obviously they're going to win the fight. But when they win...
Good guys win.
But when they win, it's kind of like, aw, really? They kind of
cheaters.
They kind of win in a cheater or not really a like heroic kind of way. Like, oh, that's not really fair. Like, it's kind of a... Wait, time out. Let's start again, Yeah. But it is kind of cool. But then after the big fight and everything, it's kind of cool. They confront the main guy. I don't remember his name offhand here, and I don't really want to go through the whole thing. The main guy that's in charge that charged it. I'm gonna find it now. Nicholas Scratch is his name.
Nicholas Scratch.
Nicholas Scratch. He's the head wizard guy. There's a little bit of a
I remember
surprise.
Nicholas Scratch. He was one of the Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers. Nicholas Scratch.
There's a little bit of surprise ending too of who Nicholas Scratch is. He might be somewhat related to a certain character, which is a big surprise at the end. And it's kind of a dark, sad ending when you find out what happens when what happens to him, and they sit there and they talk about, don't you feel bad for this guy, or whatever, or don't you hate this person, and you really, then the person confesses who this person is related to. It's like kind of a shocker, and it just ends. You're like, once you get the reveal, you're like, whoo, what a shocking ending, and that's it. And it's like, but it's a fun issue. It's fun to watch the Fantastic Four fight. This team up of different powers and how they.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, and it's kind of neat. I like this issue too, and this is gonna sound funny, but the thing, he's always really strong. Everybody talks about how he's gone toe to toe with the Hulk and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, in this issue, I'm gonna be honest with you, he kind of gets smacked around a lot because he's the thing. He just charges in and goes to fight. With these villains, they fight. Have got cool powers and stuff. So they just they avoid his punch, and they do the.
If I just don't get hit by you, I'm fine.
So it's kind of cool because they show that you got to use your brain and stuff to fight these guys.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun issue. It really is. It's a great old issue. What makes it fun too is because it's 1977. You've got the old ads in it.
Always the best.
I love looking at the old ads in these old comics. Like, there's literally an ad here for shooting a daisy with the Daisy BB guns.
I love
So
they always have you gotta take this pill and you'll be the musclest guy on
Yes.
the beach.
They have that in here too. I don't know where it's at now, but
Classic.
yeah, they've got that. They've got a whole ad in here with this big muscular guy, and right here, Joe Weeder build. You can get his books and once in a lifetime, never be to repeated offer. I wonder if it's still good. Like,
Hope it is.
If I send it in.
I want to be as beefy as him. How do you get that? Steroids, probably.
Right. So that's what they send you, pills.
Yeah, just
pills in a book.
A needle and a syringe.
Yeah. And the book is like a comic book.
Yeah.
Like, how is this going to help me? Well, because you stick it and you just sit and read. While you're waiting for the steroid to kick in.
All right. Just enjoy the next issue of the Fantastic Four.
And one of the things we were just laughing at, and of course you've got the back cover to really show
that's
what
good.
it is. It's a big movie poster for Orca, the horror movie Orca.
What is it? What, does it have any like reviews from critics?
No reviews.
Oh, of course. Good job. Orca. It's kind of like Jaws, but not good.
But I do like that they try to attack. They try to draw in the Marvel crowd because the first line on the Orca poster
yeah.
is an angry thunderbolt of terror explodes out of the ocean depths.
Yes.
Like that doesn't even make sense, but
Because whales are made of lightning.
Right, so,
They just.
right.
Oh, that's
But it's a fun. Like I said, the comic itself is fun. I like watching the Fantastic Four fight a group of villains, that can match their own. It's kind of cool because it gets to the point where a lot of times in comics where a villain shows up, you're just like, they slap that guy around again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat to show.
If you shows that this bad guy isn't a
Right.
threat.
Yeah. At least let him put up a fight, or so. And they set it up pretty good where you could see how they might return someday, I mean, after they beat him. So, but I like it. Fantastic Four, 1977. Enter Salem 7. It's of course they have to. One of the things, of course, which became a trend after they had Franklin, they've got to rescue Franklin too, though.
Yeah,
It's like, we got to rescue him, which kind of got annoying to me after a
You're a
while.
pain in the ass, Franklin.
I know, geez Louise, man, it's a fucking kid.
So screwing things up for us.
Right. But if anybody remembers, too, the hardcore fans, there was a time when Reed Richards and Sue Richards took another identity and went on like a hideaway for a while
Oh yeah.
to raise their kid. Which
Yeah.
was kind
And
of weird.
who replaced them? Was it Medusa and Ant-Man?
Medusa and
Was it Ant-Man
somebody-
or something
I don't
else?
remember who it was.
It wasn't
but
Ant-Man yet. That was too early.
No,
I think.
I don't remember who it was. It was Medusa and somebody took their spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the kid was always kind of a pain in the butt.
My favorite replacement, because it's always the Thing, kind of always goes on hiatus for a bit.
Because he's always...
He's the most popular character of the group.
Yeah, so he always goes off. Yeah.
And I remember they replaced him with Luke Cage. And
Yeah.
Luke Cage is like, "Where's my money?" I feel like he's like constantly like, "Where's my check, Richards?"
Yeah.
And Richards is like, "But the Power Man, we must stop Doctor Doom's giant killer robots. Not until you pay me." I was like, "Damn, Luke Cage means business. He really is a hero for hire."
Yeah. So, yeah, there's always been, like I said, there's always been funny people who rotate in and out.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's joint helped out the Fantastic Four a
There's a
couple
bombastic
times.
bag man every once in a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, that was great. If you remember in the 90s, there was a new Fantastic Four, they called it.
Yeah.
And it was the Fantastic Four versus Wolverine, the Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Spider-Man, I think is what it was. It was so weird.
It was totally like the cool kid Fantastic Four. Like if you turn to like a bunch of kids and you're like, who would you want on the Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
I would want this guy and this guy. And you're like, they don't make sense at all.
Why would because it's weird because you see Wolverine and the Hulk they come walking up, and here comes Ghost Rider motion goes, I was like, I'm here to fight.
Yeah, and Spider-Man slowly comes out. He's like, I'm out of place in this crowd
Right.
here.
But that was also, I believe, if I remember correctly, maybe I'll pull that issue out sometime. But that was because they were actually members of the Secret Defenders.
Oh.
I think Doctor Strange put them together one time.
Because no one ever wants to say they're members of the Defenders because the Defenders always sucked.
Right.
Like, they're always like
they're
a
the
shitty
Secret
team.
Defenders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess there was some popularity seeing them all together in the Secret Defenders one time. So when this issue for the Fantastic Four came up, Doctor Strange said, "Oh well, I'll bring the Secret Defender guys back."
Yeah.
So I was like,
Makes sense.
but it was kind of weird though. It was kind of weird to watch Fantastic Four turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've always had people running. Crystal.
Yeah,
There's
Crystal.
another human. She was in there for a while. She-Hulk has taken.
I was like She-Hulk. I was like She-Hulk. She-Hulk was
I like
cool
She-Hulk.
addition.
She kind of fit in with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
She was one of the ones that fit in pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always kind of rotated in and out. So I like that. So check it out sometime. It might be hard to find this one. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even remember how I got it. I think I got lucky at a flea market or something. I found it.
Best place to get old issues.
Yeah, I think that's where I found it. I bought it really cheap for like $1 or something.
Yeah.
But the artwork is pretty good. It's the 70s artwork.
I love... It's funny because I think 1970s comics kind of get a bad rep. Because, like, the 80s was kind of like a resurgence of, like, kind of good comics.
Yeah.
And the 90s was, like, really, like, art-based comics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the 70s, I really like the art styles in the 1970s comics.
Yeah.
Sure, everyone had kind of afros and poofy hair, but...
Yeah, that's what
cool.
Sue's got. She's got that...
The real...
Poofy kind of... Yeah. It looks like the 60s haircut, but it's the 70s.
It's, like, real thicker.
Yeah.
Real lush.
It's funny to me, too, because the way they used to draw Ben Grimm... Like his forehead was so huge it almost looks like he's wearing a bandana or something.
Yeah, I always like that.
See
He has that like a big brow.
Yeah, do you see that? It always looks so weird to me. I'm like, and he looks thinner. And then as the years went by, his body got more mass.
Yeah, he's just got bigger,
he got wider. So
It was creepy. Like the old issues of the Fantastic Four, he wasn't even rocky. He was just kind of like this big, fleshy, gross thing.
Yeah.
And then they slowly just started putting rocks on him. And it's like, okay, that looks less gross looking.
Now I heard a rumor that he wasn't really rock originally.
Yeah, it's supposed to be scale.
Is that what it
like
was? Really scales?
Yeah. So that's what really doesn't make sense with the last Fantastic Four movie because he turns into rocks.
Yeah.
When you're like, he's not a rock monster. I think because I think they interviewed Jack Kirby about the design, and it's that's why it's like fleshy. It's like fleshy scales, like almost like you know how like bugs have like segmented parts on them.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Like he's got like segmented stuff. So like when Wolverine took a chunk out of his face, it wasn't taking a rock off his face.
Right.
It's like he's not made of rock. There's like flesh under there. It's like scales.
So yeah, but that's what happened in the other Fantastic movie too, though, with Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
Remember his heart was like a rock. Even his heart was a rock. Yeah. So they've kind of converted it over the years.
Yeah, they kind of
changed him into.
I think because people were kind of confused by it, and they're like, "Let's make."
Well, it's a weird look. It is.
Because if you think about it, it doesn't make sense. If he's like stone, he wouldn't be mobile. Also, rock isn't very hard, guys. Really, like Doctor Doom, one blast from Doom, freaking Ben would be on the ground.
Well, if you think about the Fantastic Four comics, it's funny because he's always the one that gets blasted every time. Like somehow everybody else is able to dodge it. But Ben gets hit with it all the time and he goes flying through a wall.
I think they aim for him. They're like, it's the Fantastic Four, shoot Ben. What? Son of a...
Right. It's clobbering. Pow. Like,
God damn it.
Yeah,
Johnny's right there.
Right.
He's the one on fire.
Moving target. He's flying around. Yeah. Sue's just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
Why'd you shoot her? Well,
Exactly. Go right for the rock guy.
Yeah. But it's funny. I don't know what that is. It's like that's what they do the thing all the time in the comics. Yeah. It's like, well, the fight begins. Let's make Ben Grimm go through a wall first, and that, every time,
it's like I gotta smash something.
Yeah, and then he comes back through the wall. He's all like, I'm back. I'm still fighting. But it's like two of the guys have already been taken out or something by Reed.
I'm so glad he's a member of the Inhumans now.
Is he?
I think so.
Wasn't he part of the
Avengers for a bit?
Avengers, or wasn't he part of what do you call it too?
I think. No, I'm sorry.
He's Galaxy.
He's not part of the Guardians of the Galaxy now. Yeah.
Right.
God, man.
What does that mean, though, in the new comics? See, I don't read it. I haven't been reading the new comics, but if he's part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I know they dropped the Fantastic Four.
The Human Torch is part of the Inhumans. That's why. That's right.
Okay, so where's Reed and Sue?
I think they're pulling the thing you just talked about. We're raising our kids off somewhere. Really? In a pocket universe or some shit.
Oh, of course. See, this is what I'm talking about. They always go to a pocket universe. Oh, my God. Jeez, please. I don't know.
Pocket universe. That's going to be the name of the episode.
Yeah. You know what's one of my favorite storylines, though, and I'll bring it up sometime. I'll have to bring up the issue sometime, but was when the big twist where Johnny married a Skrull.
Skrull, yeah.
A lot of people were like, they didn't like it, but I thought it was a great twist because it went on for a long time, and then when it gets revealed, you realize several of those issues, for like a year or two, those issues, that means it's been the Skrull the whole time. Yeah. And it was such a twist. I thought it was amazing, but... Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones.
And I think they did a good job of developing her as a character.
Oh yeah, they did.
Like you actually you're like, oh no, that's his wife. Like he actually does care for this girl, even though she was a fake.
Yep,
it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, it was pretty. I'll bring some of that up maybe later.
I think the best Fantastic Four stuff is always the science fiction-y stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
The weird kind of ideas.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That's my thing. Is with the Fantastic Four. I love Fantastic Four, and like I said before, I'm not a big fan of them going to other dimension kind of things, Yeah. But I do love when they go in outer space and they fight aliens and stuff. Yeah. I don't know why. I think that's pretty cool to me. I don't know. I like just that there was an issue in one of the Fantastic Four in the 90s where they go through time, the Watcher comes back or whatever, and they go through time and they talk about other universes, like DC does, how the branches off. There's all these other alternate universes where when Galactus came to Earth, you know how originally they send the original story, they send Johnny Storm to Galactus' ship to go get the weapon to scare Galactus and say, if you don't leave. Well, in other universes, they send other people. Other Fantastic Four members. It was pretty cool. It always comes out with a different verdict.
Yeah.
But Reed Richards, when they send Reed Richards, because he's such an egghead, he's fascinated by everything that's in his ship, so he gets so distracted by looking at everything
a good one.
that Earth gets destroyed. Because
I think that would have been a cool movie. The Dark Raider.
Oh yeah,
which was a big reveal.
Yeah, which was a great reveal. It turns out he turns out to be a villain later in the regular our universes because he's pissed at Reed at himself and because he killed Earth and he killed everybody. It was a cool idea. There's a lot of great
weird, crazy sci-fi ideas. That's what they should do in the Fantastic Four movie.
And that's what's so sad too, though. You mentioned now that since we're talking Fantastic Four, that's what's so sad too is. When you think Fantastic Four, immediately everybody goes to Doom.
Yeah.
You know, they really do. And nothing against Doom.
It's the same thing with, like, the X-Men.
It's Superman and Luthor. That's the first thing people think of, right? So, unfortunately, the thing is that Fantastic Four have great other villains, too. They really do. None of them as great as Doom, obviously, no.
Yeah.
But if, like, you were going to do a movie... Yeah, if you're going to do a brand new reboot him again, have him fight somebody else and have Doom be in the background or somewhere, you know? Like, he's building up. Like, he recognizes Reed Richards because I went to college with him, you know? And, because they did. They went to school together and be great. You can do some great things. I mean, Doom himself is a great villain just because he's the monarch of an entire country, too.
And who else hasn't had a friggin' roommate that kind of pissed you off?
Exactly.
Makes total sense in college.
The idea that...
Richards, pick up your laundry!
Right.
They're all over the dorm floor!
And then he blows up his own face because Reed's like, I think your calculations are wrong. He's like,
dick.
Get out of here! So he tests the thing and he blows up. Reed's like, I told you!
What's do you think Reed would be like, hey, your calculations are wrong. I can throw in a hand and help you. Fuck off! Get out of here! Oh, my face! Richards!
Right.
So good.
Richards walking down the hall and then boom, and he turns around and goes, I told him!
Yeah.
I told him! You know, Reed too, I just picture Reed sitting there when they're all standing there, the fire watch with all the other college kids are put on fire. You know, Reed's just standing there smiling at people going, I told him.
Do you think, you know how like there's that old urban legend that if your college roommate kills himself, commits suicide, you get straight A's for the whole semester?
Yeah,
Do you think that's what happened to Richards? Like
he's not really smart as everything.
He just graduated early because his roommate's face blew up. Oh
well,
my
he
god!
Died though, so.
Oh yeah, well,
so, you know.
Yeah, maybe that's close enough.
Right.
They don't want a lawsuit, so like, Richards, you got A's.
Right.
He's like, but I don't really understand physics. Whatever. And he just took that degree, and that's how he got the Baxter ability. Yeah. That's why Richards just isn't that smart. He just keeps screwing things up all the time.
You know what's funny about that situation? Doom reminds me of me. Like, you know when you embarrass yourself and you screw something up and you get mad at everybody else?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think.
Why would you let me do that?
It's your fault I blew up my face.
God damn it.
And Reed's all, what do you mean? I told you. It's still your fault. You distracted me, so I wasn't thinking.
It's your face.
Right.
I saw your face and it screwed up my calculations.
Right.
Yeah. I would be able to concentrate better. Richards, if you weren't snoring all the time while I was studying.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and that freaking girlfriend of yours. Go get some.
I want that. I don't want a Fantastic Four movie. I want college years of Richards and Doom.
Man, why doesn't somebody jump on that?
I know, right?
You know, we've gotten the joke videos of Thor and his roommate, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we get the college years of Reed?
That'd be so good.
Oh. Reed's in there smoking his pipe, whatever, studying, and his girlfriend comes over and she's cooking cakes, and Doom's all, I hate the smell of chocolate! Again, Richard!
Damn it, Richards!
Chocolate is bad for you!
We all know I like vanilla! Right. Breaks his lava lamp.
Reed does that as a joke, too. He gives him cake. Sue left this cake for you. Really, for me? Yes, for you. And he leaves, and he tears it open. He's like, it's chocolate! I hate it! Curse you!
He's got food allergies. Richards poisoned me!
That's why I blew my face off. I wasn't thinking correctly.
Oh my god.
That's a great show.
So we need to get on that Doom Year One. That's the comic series, like 12-part comic series of Doom in college. Really angry.
He's just a bumbling idiot. You know?
Really
That's why
angry
he's
guy.
pissed and all stuff.
All the
No, that's
time.
why he's a villain, because he was such a bumbling idiot his whole life.
Doom at a college party was so good. Hey man, you want to do a bong hit? Not to me, you freaking peasant.
He's just saying, hey, there's coasters!
Yes, coasters. Put your disgusting Budweiser on the coaster. Oh.
He walks in the back room. Oh, Ben Grimm having sex on my bed! Stop it! I hate you, Mr. Grimm!
What's that guy's problem? I don't know. He's royalty.
Right.
Some nobody country.
Oh,
People still have the plague.
Yep.
Oh.
We just wrote a bunch of issues for
There
Fantasy
you go.
4.
Yeah.
Prequel issues. There you go.
What would you like to see Doom do in college? You can always hit us up on the Twitter. And how do you feel about the Fantastic Four? You said that they're not really part of the Marvel universe anymore in the comic books. Would you like to see them back? Always hit us up on the Twitter. I am at Exploited Geek.
You know what I'd like to know too? Hey, let us know who your favorite villains were. I'd like to know who your favorite
Yeah,
villains
what
are.
other Fantastic Four?
There was a villain like Diablo that even Stan Lee. You ever hear about that one?
Yeah.
Stan Lee he talks about he needed a villain, and like at the last minute he came with this guy named Diablo. Like
He was an alchemist. Yeah.
I couldn't think of nothing. He just even he admits it was a shitty character.
Mine was Pace Pot Pete.
yeah, he's a good
best.
one. Yeah.
That's good.
Who's great for Fantasy Four?
Where are you on Twitter, man?
I am Blackie Pueblo at Twitter.
Pace Pot Pete. There you
Yes.
go. You can always hit us up on our actual website, Stream Mechanics Cast. Scroll right down, hit Recovering Sidekicks, and hit our comment section. You can always hit us a line right there. Doing some remodeling, so the website should look a little bit crisper.
Yeah.
You can also hit us up on our Facebook page at Stream Mechanics Podcast.
Yep.
And you can always send us a good old-fashioned electronic mail at storymechanicscast@gmail.com.
That is correct. You know what would be another great one? I can just see Ben Grimm beating Dr. Victor Von Doom at beer pong.
Oh,
You gotta drink that Doom! Oh, curse you, Graham, again! I'm getting drunk!
I do not trust the contents of this beer with the ping pong ball being in your hand. I do not trust where your hands have been.
Shut up and drink it, and he drinks it. He's like, curse, I don't feel my legs!
Oh, yes. Oh, everyone knows I hate light beer.
You mentioned Doom joining the college debate team, too? You're wrong, sir!
I will have you executed if you are in my country.
Right.
I don't really believe this, Doom. It's part of the debate. I don't care.
Once again, Doom loses. Ah! You'll die too! Yeah.
Once I become the tyrant of the world.
Right.
I don't need this. He kicks the mic stand.
Woo! Alright, I can't wait to see what else we talk about in the next future issues of Fantastic Four month.
Yes. All right. See you guys next comic book day.